If I could have everybody's attention, please. Before we call tonight's meeting to order, because of the results today of the election court case, we're going to swear in Harrison Amadison. I want to welcome Mr. Amadison, and at this time I also want to thank Rick Balboni for his service to the town. And at this time I'm going to ask the town clerk, Bonnie Armstrong, to come on up, and Mr. Amadison to come on up.
All right. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully discharge, according to law, your duties as town councilor for the town of South Windsor to the best of your ability, so help you God? Yes, I do. Congratulations.
Okay, so at 7:02, we're going to call the meeting to order. And if you can stand, please join Councilor Cordero leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Roll call, please, Mrs. Seneth.
Councilor Roulette. Present. Councilor Pendleton. Councilor Cordero.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Paterna.
Here.
Mayor Zimmerman.
Here.
Councilor Delnicki. Here. Councilor Fitzgerald. Councilor King. Here. And Councilor Amadison. Here.
All right, we're up to item 4, which is mayor's remarks, and I just have a couple. I'm going to probably wait till the next meeting to talk about what went on today, but I do want to talk quickly about the Memorial Day ceremony. For anybody in town, and by the way, there were a couple hundred people at least there, I want to congratulate Paul Mozzicato, Billy Carroll, the rest of the South Windsor Patriotic Commission, and also Sergeant Donald Danny Scudder of the U.S. Army, retired, who probably gave one of the better Memorial Day speeches that I've ever heard in my life. I know, Mr. Maniscalco, we talked about maybe trying to film that. I really wish we could have that archived so we can talk about that for next year. At this time, I'm going to call on Commissioner Will Coursey from the South Windsor Patriotic Commission for some presentations.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Will Coursey. I am a member of the South Windsor Patriotic Commission, our diligent and mighty commission who hosts a lot of the patriotic events in South Windsor. Tonight, I am here with the honor of presenting our student essay and poster winners with their certificates and acknowledge their hard work and being submitting and winning in our essay contest. So each year, the South Windsor Patriotic Commission hosts the student essay and poster contest as a way to encourage patriotism among our youngest generations. The intent behind the poster and essay contest is for students to reflect on what being patriotic means to them, where they have experienced patriotism, and to learn more about those who have devoted themselves to being patriotic. Our commission creates and votes on prompts that we feel will accomplish these goals and allow broad reflections on patriotic service, be it through military service, community service, or love of country. This year, unfortunately, we had a little bit of a lower entry. We had 21 students who entered our contest this year. We would love to raise that, so in the following years, we're going to try to encourage more involvement in our student essay contest. But we had some really great entries, fantastic essays that were judged, and tonight we would like to go through that. So, for the next part here, I have our certificates and a town coin for all of our contestants. They also won a gift card to Barnes & Nobles as part of being a winner of the essay contest. I'll quickly go through what our topics were for our grades. So in our elementary K through 2 category, the question was, my favorite patriotic place in South Windsor. Really nice one. Our topics for the grades 3 through 5 essay was my favorite Connecticut historical person and why. For our middle school, grades 6 through 8, our essay prompt was, what freedoms have I experienced in South Windsor that feel patriotic? And then in our high school division, grades 9 through 12, we had, where in the USA have I experienced patriotism that impacted me? So again, we had some really great entries, and we have all of our winners here tonight, so thank you all for being here. The way we'll do this is we start with our high school group first, so they can show the smaller children sort of how to navigate. But when I call your name, please come up to get your certificate. You can go around and shake hands with all of the counselors. And then our first place winners, they did bring their essays, and we invite our first place winners to read their essay for the group here tonight. All right, so we will start with our high school division, and our third place winner was Zachary Smith, 12th grade from South Windsor High School. Congratulations, man. Also, I'll give you your town. Our second place winner from 9th grade in South Windsor High School, Kanahishri Dinesh. And then our first place winner, also in 12th grade from South Windsor High School, was Navina Gravseth Roman. And I would like to also invite Navina to go ahead and read your winning essay. You can come right here to the microphone.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Navina Gravseth Roman. I'm a 12th grader at South Windsor High School. Next year, in the fall, I will be going to UConn studying computer science with a focus in AI. And here's my essay. Patriotism is often described in big dramatic moments, flags waving, anthems playing, crowds cheering. But for me, the most powerful experience of patriotism in the United States happened in a specific place, the National September 11th Memorial and Museum in New York. There, surrounded by history, memory, and sacrifice, patriotism felt real, personal, and lasting. My connection to that place begins with my mother, a Navy veteran who was stationed in the Bronx on September 11th, 2001. She has told me about that day not as a moment of fear alone, but as a moment when she saw what it meant to serve something larger than yourself. While chaos and uncertainty filled the air, she and the people around her did what they were trained to do: step up, stay calm, and help where they could. Her stories are not about recognition or medals. They are about responsibility, unity, and the determination to protect others. Walking into the museum, I carried those stories with me. Inside the museum, I saw artifacts from that day: twisted steel, damaged fire trucks, and the personal belongings of victims and responders. Each item represented a life, a family, and a sacrifice. Hearing recorded voices of loved ones and the first responders made the events feel intimate and human. As a firefighter explorer of 4 years, those exhibits hit especially close to home. I can imagine the courage it took for firefighters to run into dangers while others ran out. That moment, patriotism meant honoring their bravery and understanding the responsibility that comes with serving a community. Outside at the reflecting pools, the names of those who lost their lives are engraved in bronze. Watching visitors gently trace the names of their loved ones, I saw how patriotism is connected to remembrance. It is not just pride in a country, it is respect for the people who gave everything for others. Standing there, I felt a deep sense of unity with everyone around me, even though we were strangers. We were connected by a shared respect for sacrifice and service. My time at the National September 11th Memorial Museum changed how I understood patriotism. It is not only found in celebrations or symbols, it lives in the actions of people like my mother, who served during a time of crisis, and in the first responders whose courage is remembered at the memorial. It also lives in my own journey as a junior firefighter, where I'm learning to serve and protect my community. That place in New York showed me that patriotism is not just something you feel. It is something you carry forward through memory, service, and respect. It becomes a responsibility to live up to the sacrifices that came before you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. For our middle school divisions, grades 6 through 8, again, the prompt that they had was, what freedoms have I experienced in South Windsor that feel patriotic? In third place, in 8th grade from Timothy Edwards Middle School, is Vivian Gardner. In second place, in 7th grade from Timothy Edwards Middle School, Davina Sarah Dulager. And finally, in first place, from 7th grade, from Timothy Edwards Middle School, Akshita Ajay. And Akshita, I'd like to invite you to read your essay. Absolutely.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Akshita Jay, and I will be reading my essay on the freedoms I have experienced in South Windsor. Growing up in South Windsor, I have learned that patriotism is not measured by how loudly we celebrate our country, but by how deeply we live its freedoms. The freedoms I have experienced here are not distant ideals. They shape my ordinary days into extraordinary ways. Each morning at school, I practice one of America's most powerful freedoms, freedom of speech. I can question ideas, challenge perspectives, and share my opinions without fear. In classroom discussions about history or current events, disagreement is not silenced, it is respected. As Evelyn Beatrice Hall wrote, I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend it to my voice, to the death that is your right to say it. In my town, those words are not just quoted, they are lived. My voice matters, and so does everyone else's. I also experienced the freedom of opportunity through education. Walking into a public school each day means stepping into possibility. I can explore science, literature, mathematics, and the arts. shaping a future I choose for myself. Nelson Mandela said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." Having access to quality education reminds me that this opportunity is a privilege and a responsibility. Patriotism also lives in our community traditions. On Memorial Day, freedom does not simply wave from flags and marches proudly down Main Street. Veterans walked with quiet dignity as family stands in gratitude. In that moment, I understand that my freedoms were earned through sacrifice. This spirit echoes John F. Kennedy's challenge: ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Perhaps the most meaningful freedom is to believe, to dream, and to belong. People of different backgrounds live side to side in unity. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." Here, when someone struggles, others step forward. The freedom I have experienced in South Windsor, speech, education, opportunity, and unity, are the quiet foundations of my patriotism. They remind me that freedom is not just inherited, it is honored, protected, and lived every single day. Thank you.
These are fantastic. Okay. All right, up next in our elementary grade division, grades 3 through 5, their prompt was, "My favorite Connecticut historical person and why?" In third place, from Pleasant Valley Elementary School, in third grade, is Arina Kapil. Okay. In second place, from Orchard Hill Elementary School, in third grade, is Maisha Chandra. And in first place, in fifth grade from Orchard Hill Elementary School, is Dhruv Ganesh. I would like to invite Dhruv to come and read his essay.
My name is Dhruv Ganesh, and I'm in 5th grade at Orchard Hill School. Noah Webster is one of the pioneers who should always be remembered. He was born in 1758 in West Hartford. His mother was his first teacher and taught him to read and write. Noah was always interested in learning. He enjoyed reading books and took an active interest in current issues. In his schoolhouse, Noah was more focused on his studies, while his peers spent their time planning mischievous tricks. During those times, when people worked on farms, I admired that he really wanted to continue his learning. He pursued his higher education at Yale College. He had friends at Yale who strongly listened to him talk with passion about King George's taxes. I loved that he had a great leader's spirit. In 1775, he fought with his words, speeches, and articles in the Revolutionary War. I liked that he took part in the war, although he did not fight physically. He proved that words are as powerful as any weapon. Noah became a teacher. When Noah taught, he believed that kids should get the best education possible so that they would love the country the way he did. He strongly felt that reading American books will help students let go of the British type of English. Noah, the lexicographer, wrote his first dictionary and broke words into syllables and dropped some silent British letters. It took him 27 long years to compile this dictionary. Webster also wrote many other American spelling books. Patience and perseverance are great qualities to learn from him. I like that Noah thought about improving the lives of people around him. Noah cared for the children's knowledge by writing the American Dictionary, which helps people all around USA even today. This is why Noah Webster is my favorite Connecticut historical person. Thank you.
Okay. Last but certainly not least, in our elementary grade K through 2 poster division, we had one entry, but it's a great entry. And so in first place, from kindergarten, from Orchard Hill Elementary School, Prahlad Ganesh. Awesome. Here you go. Okay. Thank you all very much. If we want to take a moment, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, could we do like a picture with the council, all the winners, and maybe the members of the Patriotic Commission that are here?
Exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, so I would love to invite all of our winners to come up to the front and we can get a picture with the town council. Parents, feel free to step in to grab any pictures that you would like. And then that finishes our ceremony for this. Thank you all very much. Okay.
It's not ready yet. They're not ready yet.
All right, we're up to item 5, adoption of the agenda. Deputy Mayor Paterno.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to move that we adopt the agenda as presented with one change, and that is, since we're voting on a contract tonight for town employees, I'd like to move the executive session item, let me get the right number.
Hold on.
All right.
If I could ask everybody to please try to go out in the hall if you could. Thank you. Just wait a minute.
Yep.
Again, if I could ask everybody to please go out in the hall. Thank you. Deputy Mayor Paterno.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So it's item A under executive session, the agreement between the Town of South Windsor and South Windsor Non-Supervisory Professional Employees Union, an affiliate of the Nutmeg Independent Public Safety Employees Union. And I invite Town Manager Michael Maniscalco and our HR Director Vanessa Perry to join us. That'll be right after public input.
All right,
Oh, and Town Attorney.
all right,
Brian?
Town Attorney said yes.
Yeah.
Is there any questions, concerns? All those in favor of the amended agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Pardon me, Mr. Mayor, did we get a second on the adoption? I didn't hear it, so, okay.
All right, I think that was unanimous. Thank you. We are up to item 6, communication and reports from the town manager. Mr. Maniscalco.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to kind of go through my report under public safety, town staff saw increased community activity throughout May. This inevitably comes with increased safety response measures, including a spike of over 570 calls for service during mid-month and multiple arrests tied to vehicle-related incidents, public disturbances, and retail theft. Officers also supported events such as the Armed Forces Day and maintained a strong focus on traffic safety through enforcement and education efforts. Public messaging encouraged vehicle security and seasonal emergency preparedness as weather risks increase. Police staff continued community engagement, social trend monitoring, and public outreach through social media. One item not included on here for your next meeting, I have asked our fire marshal to come in and give everybody a quick presentation on hurricane preparedness, as he's our Deputy Emergency Management Director. And we are now in hurricane season. Under staffing, hiring, and community services, hiring progressed across multiple areas with vacancies filled in operational and public-facing roles, including 2 public safety dispatchers, 2 parks maintainers, 1 street maintainer, 1 pollution control operator, and a collector of revenue clerk. Community services saw expanded use of opioid settlement funds for treatment assistance, prevention campaigns, student engagement, and family support. The Senior Center reported strong attendance at programs and events, ongoing volunteer contributions, and progress on the Gathering Place cafe designed to enhance social connection for older adults. Youth and Family Services supported more than 60 counseling cases, awarded youth-led community project grants, expanded diversion programming, and prepared summer offerings focused on well-being and career readiness. In terms of infrastructure, roads, and public works, major roadway and infrastructure work moved forward, including construction on Abbey Road following approval from inland wetlands agencies, Dart Hill Road funded through Connecticut DOT LOTSIP program, and other extensive neighborhood improvements. Design work continued on Governor's Highway Phase 2, LOTSIP application submitted. Graham Road, the town funded with coordination from Connecticut Water Company. Pierce Road, which was LOTSIP funded, and Town Center Sidewalks, which was also LOTSIP funded. Additional state-supported projects included Buckland Road pavement rehabilitation and the Ayers, Nevers, Foster, Buckland Sidewalk Network, all funded by the Connecticut DOT LOTSIP. Crews continued paving sidewalk repairs, drainage work, sweeping, mowing, and field preparation for spring sports. Public Works Week activities included showcasing town operations to students, I believe at the elementary schools, and included a successful community food drive that supported local families. Under Financial Operations and Tax Administration, Tax bills for the 2025 grand list were finalized with mill rates set and milling scheduled for late June. Updated DMV-related administrative fees will streamline processing for delinquent motor vehicle accounts beginning July 1st. Residents were reminded to verify receipt of bills, provide timely documentation for motor vehicle prorations, and use online payment services for convenience. One other item under that topic was your collector's report that all of you received today. All overall collections comparing the 2023 grand list to the 2024 grand list. 2023 we're at 99.4%, 2024 we're at 99.02%. So pretty much in the same ballpark, just a little bit down. Building development and permitting. Development activity remains strong with more than 200 permits issued and over $10 million in activity project value. Commercial, retail, industrial, and residential projects continue to move forward across town. Notable projects continued across major commercial corridors, including ongoing build-outs at Evergreen Walk, which include Qdoba, Mexican Eats, the Apple Store, and Pandora. New retail development at Gateway Boulevard, 220 to 265 Gateway Boulevard, and multiple additions and new restaurants along Sullivan Avenue, including Rough and Tumble, United Delivery, Three Amigos, The Wicked Press, and Benson's Bagels. Additional significant work progressed at sites such as the Russian School of Math, USA Hauling and Recycling, AT&T Antennas, Electro Methods, new industrial and commercial buildings on Burnham Street, Flowtech, Turning Times Pottery, Home Market Foods, and Starline Development, reflecting steady commercial and industrial investment throughout South Windsor. One other item not included in that section is Phillips 66. There was a small plumbing inspection conducted there last week. We do not have a permit for their kitchen hood yet, and according to the building department, activity on actual construction in that site is very, very slow. Another item not in that section is the Mastech property. We've been working very closely with them over the last 2 weeks. As some of you may have remembered from being on the council for a few years now, we had a court settlement with them to see remediation of some of the blight in that location. We're coming up on the timing of that settlement, and as a result, we're seeing them take additional steps to try to fix the blight that is remaining in that area. Hopefully we can get that remediated and solved by the end of this week, because I believe they're out of time at that point, although I will say they are very close. Under recreation, parks, and community engagement, recreation programs operated at full pace with spring sports, adult wellness classes, preschool activities, and pool preparations underway. The Boundless Playground reopening attracted more than 200 attendees and drove record online engagement. Parks crews prepared athletic fields, opened the splash pad a couple days early due to the heat, and maintained landscaped areas and supported several community events, including the Fishing Derby and Armed Forces Day celebration. And that is all I have for my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was just curious, you mentioned Rough and Tumble in the list. Did they move, or?
I believe they had some build-out done on the interior of something there. I can get you some more specifics of what was actually in that permit, but I don't believe they moved.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The only question I have, thank you for your report, is on the corner of Ellington and Orchard, right in front of Bayers. Are they putting new stoplights up there, do you know, on those corners? Because I know that that's State Road, I believe, but...
I don't know off the top of my head. I will look into it and get you an answer.
Okay, thank you.
I have two comments or two questions. One is for the Finance Department. Mr. Maniscalco, on June 15th, I'd like us to see if that staff can come in and just walk people through the tax things, letters are in the mail, here's the process, here's how you pay, here's what happens if you're late, here's the options, here's what happens if you use a credit card. I know it's written, it's probably gonna be in the mailer, some of it, but if they could come and just like speak to the public here, that would be great.
Certainly.
And my other thing was, one of the other nice things about, I mean, it was a solemn occasion, but the ceremony for Memorial Day was the fact that it's got to be the best sound system we've had. I heard a rumor that it might belong to a different party. If it did, if that's not ours, hopefully we can get one like that. If that's ours, great purchase, because you could actually hear throughout the area, which was great.
I believe it belongs to Park and Rec, but I'm not positive.
Okay. That will be good for going future. Any other, oh, Deputy Mayor, I'm sorry, Councilor Delnicki.
Thank you. Mr. Maniscalco, if you can pass word on to the Chief Lidstrom and Surgeon Bose on the accreditation that they've just received. I guess it's here simultaneously. They have both national and state accreditation awards. And thanks Sergeant Bose for how he organized it, and it would be really appreciated. That's
Certainly
a lot of hard work.
That is a lot of work.
And then also the flock license plate reader. I guess there's a lot of comments that how it's an invasion of privacy, but it did its job. How it was a stolen vehicle that came from the north down to the south, and it ended up at Target, and they got the individual. So flock cameras are doing their job. All right. Thank you.
All right, seeing no other questions, we're up to item 7, which is public comment for any matter at all. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak to the council at this time? Okay, seeing none, there will be an opportunity at the end of the meeting. And at this time, I'm going to, on the agenda, we have executive session. This one should be pretty quick. I'm guessing it's like 10 or 15 minutes. We'll be out as quick as we can. All right, so we're on hold until then.
Mr. Mayor, you need to make a motion to go into executive session. We can't go that fast.
Just trying to make the meeting. All right, can I get a motion to go to executive session?
Yes, I'd like to move that we go into executive session.
Is there a second?
The motion itself should note the purpose of the executive session as well as those in attendance, please.
To discuss the union contract. Vanessa Perry, our HR director, town manager, and our town attorney will be present.
All right, now is there a second? Thank you. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? All right, now we're in executive session. All right, so I'm going to call the meeting back to order. We're now back on the agenda, and we're at item 8, adoption of minutes from the previous meeting. Counselor, how about we go Counselor Delnicki?
Okay, 8A, approval of May 13th, 2026 special town council meeting minutes. Be it resolved that the South Windsor Town Council hereby approves the minutes of the special town council meeting of May 13th, 2026.
Second. Does anybody have any questions or concerns? Counselor Delnicki? Okay, this one's okay. All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Is that an abstention? All right, roll call, please.
Counselor Roulette? Counselor Pendleton? Counselor Cordero?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Paterna?
Yes.
Mayor Zimmerman?
Here, yes. Yep.
Counselor Delnicki? Yes. Counselor Fitzgerald? Yes. Counselor King? Counselor Madison? Abstain. All right. Thank you.
All right, we are up to 8B. Again, Counselor Delnicki.
8B, approval of May 18th, 2026 regular town council meeting minutes. Be it resolved that the South Windsor Town Council hereby approves the minutes of the regular town council meeting of May 18th, 2026.
Is there a second? Again, any questions, concerns? Counselor
yes.
Delnicki.
I have a few corrections. Starting with agenda item 7, public comments, page 3, the comments from Burma Shaw. The second line, with a sentence that starts with Mr. Shaw, it should read Ms. Shaw. The fourth line, far right, where it states, he stated that truck, should be truck traffic, should read, she stated that truck traffic. The sixth line, Mr. Shaw described the potholes, should read Ms. Shaw described the potholes. Ninth line, he also noted, that should read she noted. 10th line, the line that starts with made to the adjacent open space area, and he inquired whether, continued on, the word he should read she. 11th line, at the end of this line, just after boat launch on Scantic River, Mr. should read Ms. The 13th line, sentence beginning with Deputy Mayor Paterna requested that Mr. Shaw leave his contact information, should read Ms. Shaw leave her contact information. Agenda item 12B, resolution approving the payment of Fishbein Law Firm for legal services. The minutes should reflect that Deputy Mayor Paterna and Councilor Cordero, where it states that they're abstaining, it should reflect that Deputy Mayor Paterna and Councilor Cordero recused themselves from this agenda item and left the council chambers. And agenda item 17A, executive session. For attendance, it should be reflected that Councilor Balboni was absent. And finally, 17B, executive session. For attendance, it should be reflected that Councilor Balboni was absent, as the current minutes reflect that Councilor Balboni was in attendance. And that's all I have.
All right, can I,
Motion to approve is amended.
yep, is there a second? All right, all those in favor? Aye.
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 All right, all those opposed? Any abstentions? All right, roll call, please.
Counselor Roulette?
Yes.
Counselor Pendleton? Counselor Cordero?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Paterna?
Yes.
Mayor Zimmerman?
Yes.
Counselor Delnicki?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgerald? Yes. Counselor King? And Counselor Madison?
All right, so now do we have to vote on the amended, or are we good? We're good? All right, we are up to number 9. We'll see if we can get through this one. Communication from liaisons, officers, and boards directly responsible to the council. Deputy Mayor, Councilor Delnicky.
Thank you. You want to promote me now? Okay, I'll take it. I'd just like to report that the Inland Wetlands Conservation Commission has their continuation of the public hearing for the estates at 100 Oakland, the senior residence development. It appears it's going to be, that would be the last of the public hearing, so if you still have comments, you can come that night, because they have that on their new business, and if they do approve this application, then the next step will be towards to planning and zoning, and I don't have that information on when that application was submitted, so they'll probably be just after Wednesday's meeting that they'll submit their application to planning and zoning. And that's all I have.
All right, is there anybody else? All right, and we're going to wait about 45 seconds.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor.
Is it going to be quick?
Yeah.
All right, Councilor Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Board of Education met last week. They announced the new assistant principal for the high school, Lindsay McGinn, who was a social studies teacher at the high school. And then they spent a decent chunk of the meeting running through the cuts that the board is, or that the superintendent is making to the budget for this coming year. I only raise it because parents might want to take a look at the meeting minutes of that meeting just so they can see, because a lot of the cuts that they're making, they're going to make up for with increasing fees to parents with athletics and activities and field trips and things like that. So just parents should kind of keep an eye out for that. Thank you.
It's a good job. All right, now we have 2 minutes to go. Any reports from committees, number 10? And by the way, just for the record, the clock is wrong. I'm going by Councilor Delnicky's phone. It's at 7:58. Reports from committees. Anybody? Seeing none. Consent agenda. And we're gonna let's wait on that. You good?
All right, our next item of business is the public hearing. Oh, I'm looking at the clock up there. Okay. Clerk of the council will, when we're ready, would you mind reading the announcement when we're set? All right, thank you. It's like watching an egg boil on the stove, you know? Okay. Clerk of the council, would you read the announcement?
To be published in the Journal-Inquirer, May 22nd, 2026, legal ad, Town of South Windsor. Be it resolved that the South Windsor Town Council hereby sets Monday, June 1st, 2026 at 8 p.m. in the council chambers of the South Windsor Town Hall, 1540 Sullivan Avenue, South Windsor, Connecticut, as a time and place for a public hearing to receive citizen input on the proposed changes to Division 4 Planning and Zoning Commission, Article 3 of the South Windsor Code of Ordinances, boards, commissions, committees, agencies, authorities, and councils regarding the elimination of Section 2-199, disqualification of members, as shown in Exhibit D, a copy of which is on file in the town clerk's office, dated at South Windsor, Connecticut, this 21st day of May, 2026, attested to by Catherine Sennerth, Executive Assistant Clerk of the Council.
All right, thank you very much. Is there anyone from the public who would like to speak on this, during the public hearing on this resolution about planning and zoning? Anyone else like to speak? Going 3 times. Anyone else would like to speak? No, this is about the public hearing. Yes, thank you, Charles. Okay, with that said, we'll essentially conduct an unscientific survey, and those of you who would agree with the changes in the planning and zoning, which in this case the change is to eliminate the disqualification of someone who, and I'm going to rely on my fellow counselors to correct me, either a real estate agent or a broker was prohibited from serving, and now we're saying, and insurance. So there's 3 categories, and we're eliminating that so that people who work in those areas can still serve on planning and zoning. So we'll take an unscientific survey. Those of you who think we should make that change, please show your support by raising your hand. Those of you who don't think we should make the change, we have 1. Okay. So those of you who don't really care, okay. So we have 1 against and no supporters at this point. Thank you very much. To the first reading consent agenda. Councilor Cordero.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. First reading, resolution of reappointing Michael Kelly as member of the Parks and Recreation Commission. Be resolved that the South Windsor Town Council hereby appoints Michael Kelly as a member of the Parks and Recreation Commission for a term ending December 31st, 2029, and postpones consideration of this motion until the next regular scheduled meeting. Number 2, resolution reappointing William Nowak as member of the Parks and Recreation Commission. Be it resolved that the South Windsor Town Council hereby appoints William Nowak as a member of the Parks and Recreation Commission for a term ending December 31st, 2029, and postpones consideration of this motion until the next regularly scheduled meeting. Number 3, resolution reappointing Joshua Parker as an alternate member of the Parks and Recreation Commission. Be resolved that the South Windsor Town Council hereby appoints William Nowak as an alternate member, actually should say Joshua Parker, as an alternate member of the Parks and Recreation Commission for a term ending December 31st, 2029, and postpones consideration of this motion until the next regularly scheduled meeting.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions, discussion? If not, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. Resolution passed. We're on to new business. This is a Mr. Maniscalco discussion item, Governor's Highway road improvements. And Mr. Stetson is here from Public Works.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'm just going to turn it over. This has been a project in the works for quite a while, I think across a couple different councils. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Stetson, and he can get you guys all up to speed.
All right, good evening. Are we waiting for the mayor to come back? Or? Okay. Vincent Stetson, Director of Public Works, thank you so much for your time this evening. I am very excited to breathe some life back into the Governor's Highway project. So the Governor's Highway requires a long-term traffic calming solution that improves safety while remaining legally and operationally feasible. We are seeing increasing truck traffic with developments on Governor's Highway area with related safety concerns, residential quality of life. We've got the future Talbot Lane development and need for a legal viable solution. Just to bring everybody back, a bit of a timeline. Tough traffic complaints due to the development of the town. This has been occurring since the 1950s to the current day. Recently, I've been having to do a lot of research in old meeting minutes, and I was taken aback. You would have thought it was today, back in the 60s or 70s, hearing residents come to town council meetings, saying much of what we're hearing today about increased truck traffic, speeding, noise. The only thing that's kind of changed is the streets and the names of the businesses. In the 1980s, there was the installation of a legal no-through truck prohibition. Then we followed up with installation of speed limit signs not officially approved by OSTA, Office of the State Traffic Administration. And then most recently, removed the no-through truck signs and updated the speed limit signs to reflect current OSTA standards. We realized that there was going to be a development on Talbot Lane in 2022. And we had a public information meeting relative to Governor's Highway and the reconstruction and the proposed safety elements that I'm about to go over back in December of 2023. And Chief of Police Rindstrom, the LTA, Local Traffic Authority here in town, came to the council on June 14th of 2024 to update everybody about the safety elements and what was going on with all the signs along Governor's Highway. To briefly touch upon all of the safety elements that we've looked at and have been proposed, creating a dead end mid-block along Governor's Highway. The pros of that would be that it would limit traffic by preventing travel from Ellington Road to Route 5, potentially reducing truck traffic. The cons of this, it was operationally infeasible with emergency response due to the increase in response time and having to circumvent the new road configuration. Final analysis, not feasible due to the safety concerns. Speed humps was proposed. It will slow traffic down. The cons may introduce secondary impacts to adjacent residencies with the unintended consequences of more vehicle noise for those in close proximity. In addition to this, folks will probably just travel a different route, and now you will have the increased traffic on another side street. Another con to this is it creates road drainage and maintenance issues, and like I just mentioned, it would move traffic to another street. Final analysis, not feasible. One-way traffic was also proposed. It would limit traffic going in one way. Again, it impacted emergency response, and it probably would not impact the kind of vehicle or the speed along the roads. Final analysis, not feasible. Weight limit prohibition, it would prevent heavy truck travel, but would be a de facto no-through truck prohibition, which is illegal. So that is not legally permissible. No-through trucks, that would limit traffic. The cons is it's illegal, and just to touch base on what a through truck is, a through truck is a truck which travels from a point outside of the limits of a city, town, or borough in Connecticut through such city, town, or borough without any scheduled stop in such locality. Any truck originating or having a destination with a city, town, or borough where any through truck prohibition has been established is not subject to such prohibition within that city, town, or borough where the truck originates or has a destination within. So in essence, all of the businesses that we've brought into town and welcome them, they are going to bring the trucks, and there's not much that we can do to prevent them. Now, I would like everybody to just keep an open mind on what we're about to propose. I know it's an emotionally charged subject, but I'm very, very excited to be presenting this. A roundabout. The pros of a roundabout on Governor's Highway is that it will provide truck drivers the opportunity to avoid the residential area of Governor's Highway coming from Route 5. It will slow and calm traffic. It provides a clear and intuitive route for truck traffic away from residential portions of Governor's Highway. It creates an environment for community engagement and pride with aesthetic opportunities, which I'll go over here shortly. It reduces acceleration and braking, which may lower overall traffic noise. It has functional resilience, meaning there's no power, it does not rely on lights, and it's safer than traditional intersections. And FHWA studies have shown modern roundabouts reduce severe injury crashes by up to 78% compared to traditional intersections. And I'd like to add that our sister community in Manchester, right by their town hall, where Main Street and Route 30 intersect, they are planning on installing a roundabout right in the center of town. The con to these roundabouts is there's a lot of public perception challenges. The aerial image here is just a concept, that is not the plan for Governor's Highway. Local resident sentiment, surveys were sent out to residents along Governor's Highway and surrounding areas in February of 2026. The results of the survey were 44 in support of a roundabout and 6 against, which is 85% in support. Response rates out of a total surveyed 52 out of 135, those that responded to the survey, is 39%. Typical survey response rates in Connecticut are 5 to 20%, so we got a really good pulse on how the folks are feeling out there. If we could quickly just explore some of the positives. Creating this roundabout is an opportunity to showcase the town's spirit and flavor. You'll see a concept here. In the center of the roundabout is a antique tractor. There's another concept with a old wooden wagon. And if you'll see, it's kind of hard to read here, but trucks are requested to turn around and utilize Route 5. We can make it seasonal. You could put a Christmas tree on top of it. We're envisioning a raised pedestal, much like the variable message signs with the brick facade to match the essence of the town. This will be low maintenance. We could put a capped stamped concrete cover on it, and depending upon the year or the time of year, we could go out there and change what was out there. Governor's Highway, some great news, is been awarded a grant through LOTSIP. $3.5 million has been approved by the CROG Policy Board for this project, which includes the cost of the modern roundabout. Design's costs for this project have already been borne by the municipality, and the design is not yet 100% complete. So there is still some wiggle room here if we want to back away from any of these proposed designs. Tentative schedule, summer of 2026, the applications will be removed by CROG consultants for review. Summer, fall of 2026, applications return to municipalities for review of the comments. It's a bit of a back and forth, and then this happens with Connecticut DOT, and we are hoping to break ground in the summer of 2027. We have been working with the developer, Talbot Lane, and adjacent landowners, and already have the process in way for land acquisitions. Anybody have any questions?
Councilor Delnicki.
Thank you. How big is this roundabout supposed to be in comparison to, I've been out to Glastonbury, those little roundabout things. You got the one over in Ellington at the used to be 5 corners or what it used to be. What's the size?
That's a great question. This roundabout is going to be designed, as opposed to the ones in Glastonbury, to handle tractor trailers. So the interior radius, that pedestal will be 50 feet, which is rather large, and it will be able to accommodate large trucks.
Because I notice those are tight ones over in Glastonbury. I don't know how the fire trucks get around there. Would they be, are you like making it the size to accommodate because of the way that the tractor trailer pivots and all that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. The inside of it is going to have kind of like that rumble strip, so vehicles can drive on it, though there'll be a noise, so regular cars won't be enticed to kind of cut the corner.
And coming from either direction, do you plan on putting like some reflective type things so that way people don't drive into it?
There is going to be a median installed going in both directions that will start to split the traffic. And as opposed to other towns, you know, the plan is to put that pedestal in the middle so people can't just drive right through it. It would turn into a motor vehicle accident.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor King.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Started construction in, what was it, in the summer of 2027?
That is the goal. There's no guarantee on that. It has to go through a lot of bureaucratic processes.
No, I love it. So what would you surmise if it does start, let's just call it August? When would it be completed? I didn't notice that.
Shooting from the hip, I would say that that project would probably require 120 calendar days to complete.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Ouellette.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just Two questions. First, so size-wise, going to be something like the ones in East Granby, near where all the warehouses are?
They're going to be similar to the ones in Windsor and East Granby. The dimensions will allow for a full-length tractor trailer to go all the way around without riding up on the curb.
So to Councilor Domlicki's point, they're maybe 3 times as large as the, to your point, they're probably 3 times as large as the ones in Hebron, because it has to enable a 53-foot trailer to turn around. They're huge. Second point, so on the dead end, was there a reason why we didn't include a gate with emergency vehicle preemption to open that gate for emergency vehicles, which would kind of separate the residential area from the commercial area?
That is a great suggestion, Councilor Roulette. But if we can imagine, if we will, if we put a gate down the center of Governor's Highway, we would be shifting this issue to the side streets, and we would be putting it onto Pleasant Valley Road, Strong Road. So that, again, would be a de facto truck prohibition. The full-size rotary is, in my humble opinion, the best solution to the issues being that we're dealing with here with the development in truck traffic. In order for traffic trailers to be able to turn around and not go down the residential section of Governor's Highway, we need to avail the truck drivers the opportunity to turn around. That means we need to have a rotary that is of the same dimension that can handle that request. If we make the rotary too small, it's another de facto truck prohibition.
So my observation and my objection to all of this is that the residents off of Governor's are being subverted in preference of warehousing, commercial truck traffic, Talbot Lane. We're hurting the residents on and directly off of Governor's by we're enabling truck traffic. We're welcoming it in by doing
If I can
this.
just put a quick pause on this. The Talbot Lane development, in my opinion, is settled science. It is going to be built. So it is upon all of us to exercise our best judgment to do the best that we can for the residents in the area. I do not see any other solution in the near term to help mitigate the truck traffic for the residents on Belden and Governor's Highway.
Blocking the road from truck traffic will solve the problem. Solved. It separates commercial from residential. And that's something that for some reason we're hesitating to do. Feels like we're taking a bias towards the developer of Talbot and whoever's going to end up taking over the Carlos space eventually. We're choosing them over the residents. That's my observation. I think a dead end with a gate that can be controlled by emergency vehicles solves both problems. Gets truck traffic out of the neighborhood and enables emergency vehicles to do what they need to do. I would just like to understand why it wasn't researched or included in your presentation.
I believe that was proposed in a past meeting. I apologize that I did not include that in the proposed solutions. But again, that would be a de facto truck prohibition and just put the truck traffic on another side street. The trucks need to get into town no matter what. They're staged here. We welcome them in.
They can go all the way down to the end at Route 5, take a right on Route 5 going north, and get into Governor's that way on the commercial side. That's the option.
Councilor King. Thank you. Do you have, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Do you have an example? I'm just trying to picture it in my head what you're saying. So where would you put that? Would you put it on Ellington?
No, I would put it right after, like near the synagogue, just after where all the houses are. Essentially, right where the Talbot's Lane the new warehouse is going to go in. Then you have a separation where from there east or west towards Route 5, that's the commercial side.
Oh.
And then everything east of that is resident, that's the line of delineation. Wherever the last residential house is where you put the gate.
Do you have an example in regards to where you've seen that before?
I've never-
Like, you know, I hear what you're saying. I'm just asking, I can picture, I've driven the roundabouts all over the place, so I can picture that and say, okay, I see how that may not work to your point. I'm just trying to see where that might be done in another town that I might be familiar with.
I don't know, but every single stoplight in town and in Connecticut has that preemption system on top, a little periscope that's above the stoplight.
Yep.
Looks for a certain beacon pattern and frequency from emergency vehicles and changes it to green. Sometimes it doesn't do it in time, but that's what it's designed for. It would do the same thing with a gate.
Councilor Delnicki.
Yeah, I'd just like to respond to Councilor Willett. I think the reason why the residents wanted the roundabout, because now if you have a one-way gate, you're going to inhibit those residents that live right by that gate. They're going to have to go all the way around. They're not going to have the convenience of going straight down. I mean, I'm not a roundabout person, but the one-way gate, I mean, you're going to inhibit those residents from getting to Route 5.
I don't disagree. I've talked to enough residents.
Councilor Lett.
Yeah, thank you.
Just so I can, so for the record, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I've talked to enough residents about the subject down there to know that their bigger concern is truck traffic. Truck traffic, noise, diesel exhaust. Those are the three things that they are upset about in general.
Deputy Mayor Paterno.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Stetson, at one time we had signs there that said no trucks. And I think in your report you said recently we took those signs down. And I think we were taking signs down because the state told us you can't prohibit truck traffic. Am I right?
Can I step in on that? I was actually going to talk to that point.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, we need to be aware and be a little bit cautious as to how we do this actual project, because a number of residents came out who are upset over truck traffic, and they asked us, the town, including the Legal Traffic Authority, which is the chief, to reach out to the Office of State Traffic Authority and ask them to make, I believe, Governor's Highway non-permissible for truck traffic, period. The state came out, they did their review, they chastised us for the signs, and they said that our speed limit's too slow. And now we have their attention. So I think we have to be very, very cautious how we move forward with this project to ensure that we meet all of their requirements for, you know, road safety, you know, consistently. And I'm going to mess up what the acronym is for. I'm sure Mr. Stetson could tell us better. The MUTCD standards have to be met. Like, we can't not. Because in the event that we aren't meeting those standards, we could be putting significant amounts of funding and other things at risk for other roads. So I just want everybody to recognize there's a lot more than just, you know, some staff sitting in a room thinking, hey, this is a creative idea or a solution to doing this, or, you know, maybe this is the way to do that. There's a lot of standards that are coming into play and requirements that we actually have to do, that we don't have a whole lot of choice on.
Council.
Can I just finish my point? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Deputy Mayor Paterno.
No, go ahead.
A quick question. That state requirements you just mentioned, are the public aware of those requirements? The residents in that area, are they aware of those requirements? Has it been discussed?
So, you know, when the responses came back from the state, we did discuss them here at the council table. I'm sure those residents were aware. I know one resident who's aware, who emails me on a regular basis, upset over it, and we can't make a difference on it because it is the state, but I mean, we've made people as aware as possible.
Yeah, because it looks like if the residents are complaining about something, and then it seems like to some extent your hands are tied because there are some regulations that you have to adhere to because these are the state's requirements. Like the deputy mayor said, so there was a time they asked them to remove the signs. So I'm just wondering how much of these things the public are aware of, the residents are aware of. I mean, if your hands are tied and then you talk to and then you share this with the residents, then maybe they might be able to put all heads together to look for a solution, otherwise we are just going to be going around circles and maybe planning to spend money that we may not need at the moment to do it.
So on June 17th, 2024, Police Chief Lindstrom, the local traffic authority, spent an hour at this lectern going over all of these options and the legality in the history of Governor's Highway. We have researched this ad nauseum, and in my personal and professional opinion, if you want to do anything for the residents of Governor's Highway in Belden, the Rotary is the only option. And again, it's just an option because there's a sign there that trucks requested. They could still drive right down the road. There's no guarantee that the trucks will use the Rotary, but this will give them the opportunity, and it's a chance for us to give back to the community, create something that we can rally around, and hopefully it works, and it can be used as an example for other communities that are dealing with this issue.
Deputy Mayor Paterno.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Stetson, so I'm just trying to make the point that, we can't prohibit trucks. And we've done a survey, we've met with residents, we've got a pretty good response from the survey, and they seem to be supporting the roundabout. And in my opinion, the roundabout will slow traffic down in general, and that's got to be a good thing for those residents. So, I'm in 100% support, and I hope you will consider a roundabout at Four Corners in the future, because I think we can slow traffic down there as well. Thank you, sir.
80 steps.
I was waiting for that. Just a couple questions, and I apologize for missing the first part of your presentation. The money that we're getting from CROG, and maybe it's for you or the town manager, how much money is being spent by the town? We're getting over $2 million from CROG, but...
So we're getting $3.548,600, a very precise number there, from CROG. The design costs for this have already been borne by the town. That is our cost share, if you will. There is some more costs to be had. Design is not at 100% yet, which is why I'm here today with all of you to come to a final decision to present to the Planning and Zoning through an 824 referral, which I hope you all will be voting on later.
Do we, I guess just looking to my right and left, do we want to have this as a topic again, just throwing it out there on the 15th and try to get, well, let me ask the town manager, did we invite the residents to this meeting? Did we let them know about the topic?
Well, we've got it on the agenda, but outside of that, we didn't specifically reach out to residents to invite them.
Right. Would there be anything, is there any negative in us waiting until the 15th and trying to let the public know by a letter or a notification, just like we would if it was the referral, like if we were building a field near their house, and see who shows up, get their input, and then move on? I know some people responded to a questionnaire, but I kind of like giving people the opportunity to come talk to us, to Mr. Amadison's point, among others, and just see if something's changed before we do this. Because once it goes to Planning and Zoning, I'm assuming then quickly thereafter, we start the process with the state and we're down the road.
So we're currently in process with the state, and we need this internal town process to catch up with our proposed design.
Right. And then, well, again, I'm guessing if we're already behind, I don't think a couple of weeks would, I would love to give the public another opportunity to talk to us. And then I did have a question on the timing. What happens with school buses and school in general, since this is going to start in August and take 4 months? I know there's not,
That was just a hypothetical that Mr. King threw out there.
okay, well, whenever it's going to be, even if you did it in the summer is not 4 months. So for at least a couple weeks, or, 'cause what did you say, how long will it take?
It's about a 120 calendar day project.
Okay, so 3 months. There's going to be at least some of the time where we're working on the road. That's during school. I know we've developed other roads, Pleasant Valley, you know, it worked, we got through it. Is this going to be kind of the same thing? We'll divert traffic before this and after this, and they'll go around?
Absolutely.
And life will go on? Okay. Well, I'm going to look for a little, see what people think about a couple weeks talking about it again, but I'm going to go to Councilor King and then Councilor Delnicki.
Thank you. Appreciate the work you put in. But because we didn't get this, so that's why all my questions are, can you put the diagram up again on what this would look like? Because now that I'm pulled it up, so you would also, based on the size that you're talking about, you would also have to widen the road, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so there's going to be some land acquisition between the developer at Talbot Lane, who is working with us, and the property owner across the street. We already have tacit agreements with them, and we're going through the process of doing property assessments.
So if you could, I don't know which one it is, but the one that showed a drawn diagram of what the roundabout would look like. Yeah, I know you had one bigger than that, didn't you? No? Yeah, no, that was the picture. Okay, so that's a lot of road you'd have to widen. It's definitely going to be more than 3.5 million, isn't it? I mean, the total cost of it?
Fortunately for us, we've been experiencing a great trend where projects are coming in significantly lower than the engineer's cost estimate. So okay. I would hope that we continue with that trend. But 3.54 million includes full depth reconstruction, some drainage improvements, the rotary, sidewalks between Belden and this new development, and a median.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Delnicki.
Thank you. I'm not sure what you're referring to about holding off. I mean, tonight it's just a referral for the 824, and then I believe once the 824 is approved or not, but I'm sure it will be, it has to come back to us anyway, right? Or is it automatically?
I cannot speak intelligently to this part of the process because generally speaking, a 824 referral would come back to you guys to release the funding. Seeing that the funding is already in hand at this point, I don't know if that part of the process would be triggered. If I could suggest, maybe we promote the planning and zoning meeting or offer to them to have a public hearing before they vote on it, just to keep the timeline here a little bit shorter.
Yeah, because that's what I would recommend, because planning and zoning, if they have the final decision, and we're just giving them the 824 referral, I don't see postponing it another meeting and then doing this 824, and then you're going to lose the timeline that's been given, and that's my opinion.
Yep. Well, let me answer that, and I'll go to Councilor Olet. My concern is somebody who just attended a planning and zoning meeting. Their rules for public comment are different than ours. Just a minute. So I think it's a lot easier for the public to talk to us, and we may or may not want to send it for the referral.
Just, I might clarify one thing on the 824 referral under the Connecticut statutes. That does not give the ultimate authority or approval to the Planning Commission of the community. You can still accept the recommendation, or you can, if they opined in the negative for a certain project, you can still go forward with the project despite their negative recommendation with more of a supermajority. So they don't have the final approval on that.
I understand, and I'm going to go to Councilor Lutt in a minute, but I'm not sure why we would send it to planning and zoning and send a message to the neighbors that we're in support of this until we're sure we're in support of this. That's my concern. And I'm not sure what 2 weeks makes at this point, but because once it goes to planning and zoning, they're going to get a group of people thinking that it's pretty much a done deal. They're public comment is a lot more limited than ours. And I'm just not sure why we would do that, but if that's what the majority wants, that's okay. Councilor Roulette.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Could you bring up slide 7, please? Right there. So is this an accurate representation of the placement?
This is just conceptual. It's not going to be that close to that residence.
So is the eminent domain / taking going to be equal between the Talbot Lane development and that residence? Because right now, the preponderance of that land that's being taken over is on a residential property. Why isn't it coming from Talbot Lane? If they're the ones who are making the impact, why aren't they taking the burden of losing all of that land?
We don't have the land available right opposite of Talbot Lane. And this incorporates into the new development right off of Talbot Lane, and then allows any trucks coming off of Talbot Lane that take a right, the meatball factory, if you will, to go and turn around once they see the truck request.
So on the bottom side of that, that is, am I reading that correctly, as the entrance to Talbot Lane?
Talbot Lane is probably about 1,000 feet to the left here.
But there's an entrance to the warehouse development there.
Correct.
At the bottom. Okay. So why wouldn't we place the entirety of that traffic turnaround on Talbot Lane and put the burden on them?
We don't have the land opposite of Talbot Lane. The landowner isn't willing to work with us, and we've already worked with all the abutters that are comfortable and willing to work with the town.
So this would be the south side developer, the south side property owner, is that the firm that's trying to build the warehouse?
Correct.
And they're not amenable to giving
No,
up the land?
they're amenable. It's the people opposite of the actual physical Talbot Lane aren't amenable.
Okay. So my observation on this is I would prefer to find a way to have, again, the least impact to residents on that street, whether that requires us re-engineering and moving that, whether that's not drawn to scale, I'm not in preference of putting the burden on, it looks like the preponderance of that burden's on the residents, not on the commercial property developer. It's my observation.
Councilor Galnicki.
Just one quick question. This is obviously not to scale, right?
The image is a little warped because I had to squish it.
Because it does look like that north part of the circle is in that person's yard. So when you come down Talbot, come into the Talbot, the property on the corner on the right, are they letting you take some of that property for the circle?
As it stands where the circle is proposed, all the abutting landowners are in support of this.
Okay, so can we move it more south? Is there any more room to take, so that way you're not encroaching on that property owner on the north?
I would have to go back and take a look at it.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Just Councilor King.
Yeah, just a final thought. So I hear what you're saying, and I'm thankful for going back to this, because again, living right around the corner from it, I drive it all the time. So as far as that property owner, and sometimes people buy a home, especially if we're going into something, and we're talking about 2027. If I remember correctly, the house that's a little further, I don't know, north or south of it, just went on sale. And I'm just wondering, say for example, if that person decides where the roundabout is, that they want to sell their house, but the new owner may not be aware. Like, I think that's like one of the biggest things that homeowners are concerned about, is that I bought this house thinking X, and now all of a sudden, now I bought it, and then all of a sudden construction goes into play in 2027. And I'm just wondering if that would be on us as a town to compensate that individual for wherever the, the diminished value or wherever the line is of their property. Is there, or are we just saying, and I might have heard earlier, are we just saying, yeah, we're just taking it?
This is not eminent domain.
Okay.
The property owner is willing to work with the town to install the rotary.
Right, I'm not, let me just be clear, so I know how you get. Let me just be clear.
Yeah.
I'm saying, if I bought this house in 2026, December, not knowing that the town council and Vincent Stetson and the state said we're gonna put a roundabout there, and then all of a sudden I hear drills outside of my house in May of 2027, what are we doing to compensate that property owner? Because that has happened where homeowners are saying, I bought this house, I thought it was X, I didn't realize it was Y. That's all I'm asking. Because it does look like we are taking more out of, which is the reason I asked the question earlier, because we're going to have to widen that road. There's no way you're going to fit that roundabout there without having to widen the road. Okay.
So,
Mr. Maniscalco.
yeah, so hypothetically under that scenario,
Yeah.
By the point that those drills would be there, some type of a written agreement actually giving that land to the town would have already been done. So they're not actually, the person that's purchasing that house wouldn't actually be purchasing that piece of the land, right? So let's just imagine the property's a rectangle, and we need to take that corner out of that rectangle. When they go to buy the house, that corner of the rectangle is already gone.
Okay.
So when they see their lot lines, it's already going to be gone.
Councilor Madison.
I wanted to follow up on that to just let Council King knows that that would be the responsibility of the real estate agent that will be selling the property.
Okay.
The town council will not be responsible for any new buyer that buys the place. And the fact that you just mentioned that peace will not be there, and if it's well published and the public is aware of this, then the council will not be liable to that.
Okay, thank you.
It will be the real estate agent that sells the property.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we've had a pretty good discussion. We got a few minutes until we actually have to vote on it. Thank you for the presentation. And by the way, can we get a copy of the presentation? Thank you very much, Mr. Stetson. We are obviously stand by. 13B, Mr. Maniscalco.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we discussed at your last meeting, I think it was the last meeting, maybe 2 meetings ago, we've had to kind of regroup and take a slightly different tact with the Needleworfer Road dry hydrant project. All of you voted to send that off for an 824, and we said we would bring it back to you. Mr. Stetson is here to discuss kind of how we've kind of changed gears a little bit, and he can discuss where we're going and where we are.
Okay. So I don't think we need the presentation again unless somebody has a question, unless you have any other information you haven't shared yet.
Sounds good.
Okay. I asked the town manager to put this on. I attended the planning and zoning meeting where this was discussed, but the public didn't have an opportunity to ask questions because you could only ask questions for something that wasn't on the agenda, if I understand correctly. Nobody from the public came to us today to talk during public comment. That's the reason I wanted them to have another chance. I don't have anything in particular, to bring up. I don't know if anybody else has any questions. All right, I think we're good. Thank you. 13C. So I did ask for this, and basically I'm going to defer to the town manager. This is a discussion and possible action about the Eversource rate increase. And I asked the town manager to put pen to paper, and he gave us a draft letter that would go out that he and I would both sign. I'm guessing, and then he gave us a whole packet of information from Eversource that had more information than I ever wanted to know about how they set their rates or don't set their rates. I'm guessing that probably every town in Connecticut virtually is going to do something comparable to this. They probably already have. But I wanted to give the council an opportunity to give any input, and I'll go to Councilor Delnicky. Oh, I'm sorry, let me go to the town manager first.
Sure. So in your packet, this is a letter that we actually received from Eversource. This is kind of the notification that we receive when they make their application to PURA. As I think we all are aware, they're looking for 11% increase. As the mayor said, we did put together a draft letter for all of you to review associated with the rate increase request. If the council voted in favor of actually sending that, we would, the mayor and I would sign it and send it off.
Thank you. Councilor Delnicky.
Thank you. Nice letter, except for the last paragraph. To me, that's gobbledygook. I think what you should put in here is, and I know you mentioned how, the average household and the rate increases. I think if you add in the language of how it's affecting the municipality rates as well, so that's like a double hit on the residents. So if you, I think the rates did go up on the town side. So if you incorporate that language, that's, the town residents are getting hit with the tax increase because of the rate increases, and then their own rates at home it's a double hit. So if you can probably word that in, and that last paragraph, if you can kind of shuffle that along. Thank you.
All right, does anybody else? Okay, so everybody, we don't have to formally vote.
For you and I to sign it, we would need the council to vote on the
But
letter.
how do we do this since it?
Somebody can just make a motion.
Okay. Councilor Lett.
Make a motion to approve the letter as presented, to be signed by the Mayor Zimmerman and Town Manager Michael Maniscalco, to be sent to PURA.
Okay, we have a second. Before we vote, can I either make a friendly amendment? You said as presented. Can you give us a little wiggle room for the town manager and I to potentially have some input? Like if we want to change a few words, if we want to do what Councilor Delnicky just said.
As presented with any edits that you feel are applicable before signing and sending to PURA.
Okay. All right. Second, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passes unanimously. Thank you. We are up to 13D. Councilor Paterno.
This is a resolution approving an agreement between the Town of South Windsor and the South Windsor Non-Supervisory Professional Employees Union. Be it resolved that the South Windsor Town Council hereby approves the proposed agreement between the Town of South Windsor and South Windsor Non-Supervisory Professional Employees Union, an affiliate of the Nutmeg Independent Public Safety Employees Union, NIPSEU, for the period of July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2029.
All right. Does anybody have any questions, concerns? Deputy Mayor Paterno.
I'm sure we're all going to support this, and I just wanted to make a comment about the non-supervisory professional employees in this town who are doing some great work to keep all of our services and all of our residents taken care of. So thank you.
All right. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Any abstentions? Passes unanimously. Thank you. We are up to 13A. Councilor King.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution approving a flag flying request to fly the Pride flag to commemorate Pride Month from June 15th through June 30th, 2026. Be it resolved that the South Windsor Town Council hereby approves a request to fly the Pride flag from June 15th, 2026 through June 30th, 2026. And we ask the Town Manager, Michael Maniscalco, to have the flag raised on the flagpole at Wapping Community House on Monday, June 15th, 2026, and lowered on Tuesday, June 30th, 2026, in honor of Pride Month as shown in Exhibit C.
All right, is there a second? Second. All right, questions or concerns? Councilor Delnicki.
Yeah, I just have a quick question on the applicant that's on here, Mr. Maniscalco. Is this a teacher? Because it's an out-of-town person requesting the flag.
I would assume that's who it is, but I'm not positive. Maybe the deputy mayor seems to know who they are.
Mr. Mayor, she is a teacher and advisor to the Straight Gay Alliance in high school.
She's at the high school?
Yeah, she's at the high school.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor King. I'm sorry. All right. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passed unanimously. Thank you. We are up to 13F. Councilor Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution approving a transfer of $5,000 from contingency to the mini matching grant account, Clap House Preservation. Be it resolved that the South Windsor Town Council hereby approves the transfer of $5,000 from the contingency account to the South Windsor mini grant professional account to cover costs associated with the Clap House Preservation matching mini grant as shown in the attached Exhibit A.
Second.
All right. Any questions, concerns? Deputy Mayor Paterno.
Mr. Mayor, in interest of full disclosure, I was previously a member of this board of directors for the Clap House and resigned immediately after the election, but I'd like to recuse myself. There's no question about voting for this money.
Councilor Cordero.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just so that, if you could in the future, if the organization come and do like a presentation in regards to, I think a lot of people are unaware of what it's about, the Clap House, the history and so forth, their goals of it and so forth. We'll start donating some money to our matching funds, stuff like that, as we move along. And here I see all the work they've done so far, $45,000 they're asking. But it'd be just good so that the public's aware of what it entails, what their goals are, you know, what the end result's gonna look like and so forth.
Yep.
Thank you.
Back in the day when I got a matching grant, probably 15 years ago, I did have to come, so we should probably add that going forward. Councilor King.
I agree. I just want to make sure I understood you. Were you saying you would like one before we vote on it? Or are you saying that you would?
No, I'm fine with matching the fund. I'm sorry.
Councilor Cordero, please. Go ahead. I just want the record to be clear.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I apologize for that. No, I'm approving. I agree with the matching the fund. I was saying it would be great in the future, just so that the public knows.
Right.
I think the majority of the public doesn't even know what the Clap House is and where it is and so forth. So it'd be just a good educational piece if the organization come in and do a little presentation of what the goals are and what their plans are moving forward.
Councilor King.
Yeah, so to follow up on that, I just wanted to know if once this is complete, does this make the house look like a home? Do we know, or is there still going to be extra stuff that needs to be done on the outside? Because it'll still be the...
I mean, my read of their application is really they're only going to filling in an empty coal chute, repairing deteriorating masonry wall in the basement, building temporary exterior stair and railings, painting soffits and trim, replacing missing window panes, and removing broken garage doors. I think there's probably more work that you'd want to see done before it would look like a real home. I think this gets us down the road to being there.
And so I have no problem necessarily with it. However, my concern is in regards to putting a Band-Aid, quote unquote, on a wound that actually needs stitches. And I would rather see the money, again, I see all the time. I think even, unfortunately, their note, the fact that it's right across the street from the South Windsor Welcome sign does not really add to the cause. It actually hurts them in the sense that, okay, we have this, and then you look across the street. So I would rather almost that money go towards the outside so that at least it looks like we put as to say, lipstick on it, as opposed to doing the stuff inside, especially if no one's living in it. That's just my thoughts. I'm down with it, especially since they've raised the money and everything. I just, for a suggestion going forward, if we're matching that would be my concern and potentially a request to the committee. Thank you.
All right. I'm sorry, Councilor Delnicky.
Thank you. Just so the public's aware as well, and I'm not sure if Councilor King is, but it's going to be the future home for the American Legion Post 133. So that's a lot of the Legionnaires. They're the ones that are working on this project as well, cleaning up around there. So, and I think the plan is also maybe the VFW. I'm not sure, but I know it's definitely the American Legion 133. Okay.
And I think they talked about being next to the sign because they wanted to make sure everybody knew that it was the entrance, one of the entrances to South Windsor. So that's one of the reasons why the project's so important. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? All right, passes unanimously. Thank you. We are up to, can somebody get Deputy Mayor Paterna? And Councilor Delnicky, we're up to 13G, and I'll let you start reading.
Thank you. A resolution referring the proposal to reconstruct Governor's Highway east from John Fitch Boulevard to Ellington Road, of which will include traffic calming elements, intersection improvements, bicycle pedestrian improvements, and roadway geometric improvements to the South Windsor Planning and Zoning Commission pursuant to Section 8-24 of the Connecticut General Statutes. Oh, there's more.
Surprise.
Whereas Governor's Highway is a major collector road with significant structural deficiencies, and whereas the town has researched solutions to reduce truck traffic and unsafe driving along Governor's Highway, and whereas the town has held public information meetings on December 14th, 2023, with further discussion at the Town Council meeting held on June 17th, 2023, reviewing the various proposed traffic calming elements. Whereas the town has surveyed the residents living on and in the vicinity of Governor's Highway, seeking their input on a roundabout installation on Governor's Highway to provide a traffic calming element, as well as to try to limit the volume of heavy truck traffic through the residential section of Governor's Highway. And whereas through the results of the survey, 85% of the local resident respondents were in support of the proposed traffic calming elements comprised of a median and roundabout installation at Talbot Lane, and whereas a grant application was submitted to the State of Connecticut LOTSIP, which is Local Transportation Capital Improvement Program, with all the improvements and traffic calming elements previously described, and whereas the grant has been awarded to the town of South Windsor. Now therefore be it resolved that the proposal to reconstruct Governor's Highway east from John Fitch Boulevard to Ellington Road, of which will include traffic calming elements, intersection improvements, bicycle pedestrian improvements, and roadway geometric improvements, to be submitted to the South Windsor Planning and Zoning Commission for a report pursuant to Section 8-24 of the Connecticut General Statutes.
Is there a second? Second. All right, any questions or concerns? Councilor King.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The only thing that I would suggest, and I'm looking to make sure, is that while it does state that the results of the survey are 85%, that be included in whatever for, I used to say archival purposes, but for written documentation that we have that, and that's just not a number that's kind of thrown out there. Because if somebody looks back on this later, we want to make sure that we have the documentation to back that number up.
Well, Mr. Stetson gave those numbers during his presentation.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking to make sure that when we have that, that's part of our vote. So that if somebody looks at this years from now, they're not just looking at our minutes, that they're actually saying, oh, okay, this is who did it, these are the residents, this is where they live, so on and so forth. So somebody that lives on that street says, oh, maybe I missed that vote, but obviously they actually did it. That's all.
Would you just like to have the information Mr. Stetson provided during his presentation, we could include those as part of the minutes?
Yeah,
Or as part of the record, does that
That's
work?
fine as well, as long as there's some type of, like I said, some type of link, whatever, to your documentation. Not saying that you're making it up, but that way we have that so somebody can refer to it later.
Councilor Roulette.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Along those lines, to Councilor King, can we just add the total number, so total number of houses that were surveyed, the total number of respondents, because it was a stark minority of the houses that actually responded, was the 35 of 140, somewhere around there. And then 85% of yes, so 85% of the 35 of 140 are the ones that responded. Whatever those numbers are, I'd love that in the minutes. Thank you.
I do have a question. I do have a, Councilor Madison.
Yes, I was actually trying to make a point alluding to what he just said. Because when you say 85%, it's 85% of 20 people, or 85% of 30 people. So in other words, just reiterating what Councilor Olet said, is that if we know the number of the residents, how many of those residents actually responded to that survey? So that will give us whether or not that 85% entails most of the residents. Okay. So if you can incorporate that presentation into our system here, that would do us good. Thank you.
All right, I have a quick question for the town attorney. If this, I'm guessing it's going to pass, but if this were to fail, there's nothing that stops us 2 weeks from now taking this same language and putting it up for a vote?
Sure. You can always reconsider your prior. Assuming it's the same, you can always reconsider.
Okay. So in a minute, I'm going to ask for a vote, but Mr. Stetson, I really appreciate the presentation. I like the idea about a roundabout. I just would like to wait 2 weeks and give the public another shot, but we're probably not going to do that, and that's okay too. All right, so having said that, all those in favor, aye? Aye. All those opposed, no. I'm a no. Any abstentions? Roll call, please.
Councilor Roulette? Councilor Cordero?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Paterna?
Yes.
Mayor Zimmerman?
No.
Councilor Delnecki? Yes. Councilor Fitzgerald? Yes. Councilor King? Councilor Madison? All right, we have
So that's how it feels to vote no?
7-2.
I'm not sure I've done that. All right. Item 14, passage of ordinance. Councilor Roulette.
You got to go to H.
I'm sorry, wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. 13H, Councilor Cordero, my fault.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution approving refund batch number 20 for 7 refunds totaling $1,396.95. Be resolved that the South Windsor Town Council hereby approves 7 tax refunds, the total of said refunds being $1,396.95, as more fully described in Exhibit B.
All right. Any questions, concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye? Aye. Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Passes unanimously. We are up to 14, passage of ordinance. Councilor Roulette.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution repealing Section 2-199, disqualification of members of the South Windsor Code of Ordinance Exhibit D. Whereas Section 2-199 currently prohibits insurance agents or brokers and real estate agents or brokers from serving as members of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and whereas the Town Council has reviewed the existing provisions of Section 2-199 and determined that repeal of the section is appropriate, and whereas the Town Council held a public hearing on June 1st, 2026 on the proposed repeal in accordance with the applicable law in the South Windsor Town Charter. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the South Windsor Town Council hereby repeals Section 2-199, disqualification of members of the South Windsor Code of Ordinances in its entirety.
Is there a second? All right. Any questions, concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passes unanimously. Item 15, public comment. Would anybody like to speak to the council at this time? Seeing none. Item 16 is communication. Oh, I'm sorry. Come on up. Let me read that then. All right. Public input shall not exceed 30 minutes. When recognized by the mayor, the speaker shall approach the lectern, give their name and address. Speakers shall avoid personal attacks or imputing or alleging an improper motive to any person. The speaker may address the council on any matter within our jurisdiction. The speaker shall limit their speaking time to 5 minutes. The town council does not respond at the same meeting you speak to us. And Mrs. Seneth will keep track of the time, and we'll try to let you know if you get near the end. If you start with your name and address, please.
My name is William Burke, 354 Needworth Road, South.
Excuse me, Mr. Burke, if you can turn the microphone on, that would be great. The little button there. Thank you.
That better? I just want to voice my opinion again on this pond site. I know there's not really any other feasible option except for a tanker, which the chief does not feel is, needed in the town. My belief, I think the tanker would be the best solution because then it would help everybody in the town, not just Needleworth Road. The second pond site is on a piece of property that was condemned by the town of South Windsor years ago. The property was owned by a gentleman, and he was going to subdivide it into 2 building lots. But the town had signed an agreement with him, a temporary agreement to put a drainage pipe on there, and at future, when he wanted to get it removed for any reason, that they would remove it, which they had no other options at the time, so they condemned the property from him. But what I'm getting at, my point is, the property was suitable to support 2 houses. They built 1 house on it. The other parcel that the town owns now is suitable to support a septic system. You normally do not put septic systems in land that can support a pond. It's just, you don't do it. The water from that goes onto that site is coming from the southern end of Needleworth, starting at our property on the high point of the road and coming down the storm drain. It's going to work during the wet season. Again, just my opinion. July and August, I think it's going to dry up. So unless they put a well in there, July and August, the water table's going to drop. There's no, during a drought, it's not going to have enough of water to support a pond. Unless you dig it deeper, but then if you go, the deeper you go, the farther, the more you have to pump uphill to get to the rest of the street up. So unless you put a well in, but then if you put a well in, then you have to have some kind of electricity to run the well, you have to have an expansion tank, you have to have some type of facility to keep everything from freezing. But what's the other option? Unless something can be done on the sanctuary property, it's probably the best solution. I don't think it's the ideal solution, but again, July, August, I don't know if it's going to work. And I just want to publicly state this so everybody's aware of it. My house burned down in July. And if it happens again, something like this, is there going to be enough of water in there? And if they do put a well in there, who's going to monitor this thing? I mean, are you going to appropriate somebody every so often and go out there and monitor? They're going to have to, but again, there's just a few concerns. It's, again, I think the ideal situation would be to get a tanker, because we're not the only people in town that have a lot of distance between hydrants. It would help everybody else in town that's in the same similar situation. I just hope somebody does something, because, as I mentioned in the past meetings, this issue came to a head years ago, that the fire department knew that there was a problem out there and nothing happened. I just hope something happens this time. And again, to me, this is not the perfect solution. It's something. I don't know, I guess 10 months out of the year, water is better than nothing, but I just want everybody to be aware of it. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Is there anybody else from the public that would like to speak to the council at this time? All right, seeing none, we're up to item 17, executive session. Deputy Mayor Paterno.
16.
I'm sorry. 16, communication from the town council. Councilor King.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is more of a public service announcement / public service plea, notwithstanding what has happened to our residents on Universal Road. I just happen to know also someone personally that had their residence burned down, not in our town, lost their home, lost their cars, everything. And my wife and I had a discussion about it the other day. I'm making a plea because we have a lot of homes, new and old, but a lot of old homes here in South Windsor. Please, 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 if you can get a fire alarm system, whatever, in your house, smoke detector system in your house, and not just in your kitchen. The people that I know, the fire started in their basement, and most people don't have those alarms downstairs in their basement. Even though they did, they were on their 3rd floor, whatever. So please, they're not expensive. You get them, go to Amazon, get a whole bunch of D batteries or whatever the battery is that go in there, and when you hear it chirp, then just switch it. That being said, please, 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 we have a lot of South Windsor residents that like to act as if. They like to act as if they have all the money in the world, and they don't. That being said, while you wish nothing ever happened to your home, there is renter's insurance, there is homeowner's insurance. I am begging you, please check your policies, because for the little bit of amount that it may cost you, if it happens, at least you're covered in that sense. Make sure to, and again, I just had this discussion with my own family, so I'm not preaching out of school, but double check to make sure that your policy has somewhere that you can stay. It's not just for your home. It's fine if you don't want to write down everything that you have in your house. Might I suggest, because in today's society of Google and everything else, take pictures of everything in your house. Whenever you buy something new, take a picture of it. Just keep it in a folder. That way when something does happen, if something happens, and the insurance company may not believe you, you have the pictures, you have the photos of the things that are in your house so that those can be replaced. No, you don't want it to happen, but it can happen. And now more than ever, it doesn't cost you anything to just be a little bit more cautious. So please, if you don't want to put the smoke alarms in your house, just double check the policies. Renters, you have to have it. Homeowners do too, but just double check that you do have it and how much that covers. Because right now, if I understand it correctly, and I apologize, but I don't want this to happen to anybody else, that they're not covered and all of a sudden there's a GoFundMe account. Double check whether they're going to give you, especially as we're doing all of the reevaluations on homes, make sure, where are you in regards to your loan? If it's not covered one way or the other, just make sure what that policy covers, because you don't want to think that it's covering your whole home and the bank only covers the loan, because they will not give you a new home based on that. They'll only rebuild on your property. So again, public service announcement, but a public service plea, especially as we have a lot of homes in South Windsor that are older, and I'm hoping not to hear about another home and a residence burning down a 3rd time. So I appreciate the indulgence. Thank you, Council.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, now we're up to 17, executive session. Motion by Deputy Mayor Paterno.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to move that we go into executive session pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes 1-206A. This is a discussion of the town manager's annual performance evaluation, inviting all the members of the town council.
Is there a second? Second. All right, all those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed, any abstentions? Passed unanimously. To the public, we will end the meeting from executive session, so for all intents and purposes, the meeting is now over. Thank you.